What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about my predictions for the length of the Horizon Forbidden West Burning Shores DLC. Now, I want to say, a few things early on in this video. Number one, when it comes to length, it is up to the player. I'm sure I'll get comments like that anyway from people who just saw the thumbnail and didn't watch, but I do understand that some people play it slower, some people play it faster, right? It's all up to the actual player. How Long to Beat is a fantastic website, okay? They track an average. You can put in your own average of how long you played a game into there and just kind of help the overall website. I love it. And so what I want to do is I want to look back, not just because I've seen other articles doing this. You can look back at Frozen Wilds and we can look at how long that game actually was, okay? But what I also want to do is I want to look at the difference in length between Zero Dawn and Forbidden West. And the reason I'm doing that is because when you look at the length of Frozen Wilds, well, does that relate to the length of Zero Dawn? And so if Forbidden West is a bigger, larger game, does that mean that Burning Shores is going to be larger? So let's go through some of the numbers and try to find a prediction here. So Frozen Wilds was 7.5 hours just for the main story, right? And then with all the other side stuff, and obviously they add more than just the story missions, it's 12.5 hours. You could, I guess, go to completionist and all styles, but really the two main ones, main story 7.5, main and sides 12.5. Okay, so now let's look at Zero Dawn to see about that comparison. So the main story here is 22.5, and the main and side missions are 44 hours. Okay, so the main story for Frozen Wilds to Zero Dawn is about a third, and then when it comes to main and sides, it's about a fourth. It's not really, it's actually a little bit more like the 27-ish%. So that's the range we're looking at. I think if you said 7 to 13 hours for Burning Shores, that's how long it'll take to do, whether you want to say everything or at least most things, right? Main story, 7 to 13 hours. I think you'd be probably pretty close. But the interesting thing that I do want to just throw out there, I haven't really seen any other sites do this when they're talking about, length, is let's look at Forbidden West. So you have to remember that these games jumped in terms of size. So Forbidden West is by actually quite a bit larger than Zero Dawn. So the question would be, does that mean Burning Shores is actually larger than Frozen Wilds? I think you can make that argument. So if you look at Forbidden West, the main story is 29 hours, right? So it's up about 7 hours from Zero Dawn. And then main and side missions is 61 hours. So that's 17 hours more than what you had for Zero Dawn. So if I were to say that Burning Shores is the same percentage for Forbidden West as Frozen Wilds is for Zero Dawn, again, if you're looking at about a third of the main story length, well, now you're sitting closer to 10 hours. Not exactly, right? More in the 9 range. And then you'd be about 16 or so hours when you're looking at the main and side missions. 16 versus 12 for Frozen Wild. So I think because there is a pretty sizable jump, again, from Zero Dawn to Forbidden West, I do think we'll probably get that for Burning Shores. The main story may stay roughly the same. I wouldn't be surprised if the main story was 7-8 hours. But as we've seen actually with more and more games, and honestly, Horizon is a pretty good case study, they're getting bigger, and they're actually getting bigger in terms of side stuff, right? The main story is getting bigger as well, but the entire game, there's more stuff to do outside. Now, you could argue like fluff or, quality versus quantity, but regardless of that, again, the main story jumps by 7, slightly less, and the main and side missions jump by 17. So you're getting way more, you're getting more than double of a jump for the main and side missions. So I wouldn't be surprised if Burning Shores had way more to do outside of the main story, which Frozen Wilds had as well, and that would maybe make it a little bit bigger. So I would probably go with a prediction of more like 10 or so hours for main story and like 16 or so for everything. But look, if you can get 10 to 15 hours out of this thing for $20, right, I think that's a pretty good deal. And one final time, again, I understand you may spend 5 hours in this game, you may spend 30 hours. These are literally averages. That's the whole point of it. So it's okay if you don't match, what these numbers are. I'm a math kind of guy, so I do like to do this stuff. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you're subscribed, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.